All right, peace and blessings. Peace and blessings. If you're jumping on, please leave some good energy in the comments. Know what got to hear, Mr. Laptop Lifestyle. If you didn't know, now you know what I'm trying to do is grow. If you're watching this on YouTube, welcome to my channel. Go like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any value that I'm going to drop. If you're watching on Facebook, welcome to my page. Hit that follow button. Share this to your timelines, especially if you're on my team, right? Share this so your people can become aware, right, of what you're doing, what you're learning. Okay, so today I'm going to be breaking down our gold analysis and BTC analysis, right? I started trading BTC a little bit. I really only trade gold, but on the weekends, I like to trade a little bit of crypto, right? BTC. So I'm going to do both analysis for you guys. First off, I want to start by saying I thank God for another day. I thank God for you guys. I thank God for the value that's about to be dropped. I pray the people that are listening be able to receive what I'm explaining and take this opportunity, take the value that I'm going to give them and run with it. I just thank God for my health, my right mindset, this opportunity, this platform. Thank God for Facebook, YouTube, any social media that I use to put value on. Thank God for the creators. Thank God for people that mentored and coached me up to this point. Thank God for family, friends, enemies, haters, everybody. And thank God that I have my talents, my abilities, all my appendages work, all my senses work. I have clothes on my back, shoes on my feet, fresh food to eat, water in the fridge. I'm just very grateful, right? Very grateful for everything I have and everything that I will have, right? So with that being said, let's get into it. All right, so this is gold. If you do not have tradingview.com, you need to download, or not download, go to this site. Well, you can download it on your phone too, but go to this site on your desktop, type in tradingview.com. This is where we're going to be drawing up on our chart, right? So it's free to get. You don't have to worry about that. So yeah, once you have TradingView pulled up, first thing you're going to do is come over here to the top left, type in XAU USD. We're going to go to this time frame, go down to the daily. Okay, so the 1 day. And the reason why we want to back out to the 1 day is because we want to see an overall picture of what the market's doing. Right. So we back out to the daily, and now you should be good, right? If you need to zoom in, you can use this, right? Take your mouse down to this area where you see my mouse is at, and you can move it in, move it out, right? Or you can come over here to this right hand side, move it down, move it up. Okay, so now that you got it centered, you got everything set up. We can go ahead and get to I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of these drawings real quick. All right, so you should be looking at a screen that looks like this now. All right, if you're following along with me, go ahead, put the number 7 in the comments if you are right here, right? If you got this part and you're ready to go. Okay, put the number 7 in the chat if you have this and you're looking at this on your screen right now. Okay, if not, it's cool, but I don't want you guys just to sit there and watch me. I want you to actually do this with me, right? So that you can learn this skill. Because once you learn this skill, nobody can take it from you. Okay, and I'm giving you y'all this value because I was instructed to do this. Right, this is my assignment. All God said, give him the value, give him what I downloaded to you, and give it to the people, and I'll bless you. Right, so I want to be blessed, so that's why I'm sharing this with y'all, and I'm not charging you to share this. Right. So do this with me, or just save it to your timeline so that you can do it later, right, and look over it later. But yeah, so back out to the daily. So your chart should look like this right here. Right. So next thing you want to do, come over here, grab your trend line tool. Okay, on the left hand side where you see my mouse is at. Go to trend line. Okay. And what we're going to do is just draw a line from the bottom point. And do it like this. Okay. Now, this is called the trend, right? This is how you figure out the trend. And you ask yourself, right, to figure out the trend really quick, you just ask yourself, is this coming from the bottom left or the top left, right? If it's coming from the bottom left, working its way up to the top right, that's an uptrend. If it's starting from the top left to the bottom right, that's a downtrend. Okay. So yeah, you just draw your trend line tool from the bottom point to the next lowest point, and you for it to be a trend, right? For this to be an official trend, it needs to connect to your trend line at least 2 to 3 times, right? 2 to 3 times for it to be an official trend. Okay. So now you're right here. All right. Put a number 7 in the comments if you understand up until this point, right? If you have this part down. This is how you find the trend, right? So when people ask you, what's the trend in the market? This is how you figure out what's the trend in the market. Any pair, right? You can go to any pair and do this. Any platform, if you're trading stocks, it doesn't matter, right? It's the same thing. People ask, like, this is big right here. Just being able to do this, majority of people cannot find the trend of a market, right? People get paid a lot of money, right, to figure out this stuff for companies. All right, so this is how you find the trend. So now we know, just looking off this, price is starting here, going up to a certain point, coming down to our trend line, coming up to a certain point, coming down to our trend line, up to a certain point. Okay, and now to anticipate, right, if we're going off what it's done in the past, it's always come back down and touched our trend line, right? So this is the trend of the market. It's just bouncing off our trend, right, and working its way up. So we are in an uptrend. Next thing that we want to identify, right, is what zone are we in? What zone are we in? The way we figure out what zone we're in, right, we got to identify major reversal points. Major reversal points. Okay. So what are major reversal points? Right? Points where you see where price reversed, right? Very sharply. So you can see here, we have a major reversal point here. One is starting to form, right? Maybe that might be one. You never know. Could continue to go up. All right, and you don't have to identify all of them. Just a few to give you a general idea of what zone you are in. Okay. So now we have our major reversal points identified. These are going to represent areas of resistance, areas of support. That's the zones we're trying to figure out, right? What's our resistance and what is our support? Support is on the bottom, resistance is at the top. Okay. So then you grab your rectangle tool. We just draw just a little rectangle there. Do the same thing on the bottom. Okay. So now we have our zone. Our zone is identified. Our resistance at the top, that's our resistance area where price is going up to that area and then reversing. This is our support area where price is coming down to this area and then reversing. Okay. So now, if you have this part, right? If you have this part down, put a number 7 in the chat. Put a number 7 in the chat if you got this down so far. All right, this is big. Now you know how to identify the trend, and you also know how to identify what zone you are in. Like I said, companies that pay you a lot of money to do this for them. Once you learn the skill, nobody can take it from you. Right? It doesn't matter. You can lose all your money tomorrow as long as you know how to do this. And obviously, there's more tools to it, right? You can use different indicators. We use different bots. We use all kind of advanced things to help us know where price is going to head. But this is just the basics, right? I'm just giving you the basics, and just knowing this, right? How to draw basic market structure, right? And figure that out, figure out your trend, figure out your zone. That's big. It's going to change your trading game. If you've been trading and nobody's broken this down to you, right, in this simple layman's term, and this is going to change the game for you. Okay, so now from here, we want to zoom in and just get a little bit closer, right? Because type of trader that I am, I just like to catch quick moves, right? Maybe 100 to 200 pip moves, and get out the market, right? Some people, they're swing traders. They like to hold for weeks and weeks, right? Months at a time. And that would be moves like from here, where my mouse is at. This is in February. They may have held it all the way till March, right up here. Once it started getting like that, they might have got out, or maybe they continued to hold it, right? They may probably move their stop loss up halfway, and they continue to hold it, and now they're just in the zone, right, bouncing. So some traders do that, right? And from that point, if they got in from a buy here to here, like that's a couple months, right? Some traders trade like that. For me, I just like to catch, like I said, 100, 200 pips, get in the market, get a couple $100, get out, right? And I just keep flipping accounts like that. Right? So I may start with like $100 or $500, try to take it to 200. If I start with 500, I try to take it to 1,000. Okay, but I just scalp the market. I get in, get a bag, and get out. So for me to do that, I have to zoom in a little bit, right? I got to go down the time frame. So I do the exact same thing on the 4 hour. I do it on the hour, the 15, and then the minute is usually where I make my decision on where I'm going to get in at, right? Try to scalp the market, catch a quick move. So we're going to go down to the minute. We're going to blow this up. Okay. All right. Okay, so I wanted to back out a little bit so that you guys can see what's going on. This is the minute time frame, and yeah, it's been a lot of movement, right? A lot of volatility in this pair here lately. Okay, just what I mean when I say volatility, I mean there's a lot of movement, right? A lot of rapid movement, going down, coming up, going down, coming up, right? When there's a lot of big moves, that means there's a lot of volatility, right? We've seen a lot of volatility here lately. But yeah, here recently on the minute time frame, right, we were in this little downtrend, right? This little downtrend, price dipped all the way down here, okay? And now it's starting to make a little comeback, okay? So recently we are in, overall on the minute time frame, we are in I'd say still kind of a uptrend. It's kind of hard to see, but all right, but there has been a lot of movement in this pair. Okay, so you see here where price started out here, went up, certain point, tried to come back, retest, went up to this. This is our daily, right? Our daily resistance area. Now it's worked its way back down to our trend line, bounced off, came up, tried to retest our daily resistance, and now it's looking like it's trying to work its way back down to our trend line. Okay. All right, so if we're trying to make a move to see when it's going to try to come back down, what we would do, zoom in a little bit. Okay. Trend line tool. All right, so we're in this little downtrend. It's trying to start. See price starting here, coming down a certain point, bouncing off our trend, coming down, and we actually had a break in our trend line. Retested, came up, looking like it's trying to retest our trend again. All right, so actually, it's actually more like, all right, yeah, we can keep it like this. Okay, so this is one strategy that you can look for to try to catch a quick scalp. Right? One strategy is you can wait for it to come back off the trend line and try to catch, right? Like if you saw this happening, came bounced off our trend line, could have caught a sell right there, right? And just rode that down the trend. Or you can wait for it to break your trend and it's going to retest and then possibly shoot off in the other direction, right? So we got another retest of our trend line here. So this is a move that we could anticipate. All right, I'm gonna show you guys. All right, so after it retests this trend line, gets down to this trend line, it could make a move back up right after it breaks the structure. Or it could get to the trend line, break through, retest, and continue down, right? So which would make this a fake out, right? Because usually when it breaks your trend line, it'll retest and then continue it in the same direction. But sometimes it could break your trend line and it could just be a fake out, right? Could still be respecting this trend, but it just seen a little break. All right, but that's why I love trading because you can only do two things, right? It's either going to continue to come down, or it's going to respect this area and then reverse, continue to go up. Only two ways, right? You got a 50-50 chance. It doesn't matter what you know. If you didn't know anything that I've shown you up until this point, you could still jump in the market and still be 50-50, have a 50-50 probability. That's why I love trading. And I don't really like getting into gambling and stuff because if I'm going to gamble, I would just throw my money in the market and just press buy or sell, right? Just guess. Be 50. I got a 50% chance that I'm going to be right. 50% chance I'm going to be wrong. I like those odds. Okay. So, yeah. So we're going to be watching, right? But something that tells me that this is going to continue down to this trend line is that we've seen this bearish engulfing candlestick, right? So now I'm getting a little bit more technical, start using Forex terminology, right? These candlesticks, which you don't really have a clue about yet, right? Until you start studying more. But these candlesticks, sometimes how you can figure out what direction the market is going to go is if you see an engulfing candlestick, meaning it's engulfing the previous candlestick. Okay. So, for example, all right, where my mouse is at, this is a bearish engulfing candlestick, meaning it's engulfing this previous bullish candlestick. Right. So when you see this form, let you know, all right, price has a lot of downward momentum, a lot of bearish momentum. Okay. So I could get in for a sell and continue to ride that momentum down until you see another engulfing candlestick that may indicate that price may be reversing. Right. So we saw this when you saw this green candlestick form, right? This green engulfing, this bullish engulfing candlestick, let you know, all right, price is trying to reverse, it's trying to slow down. Could have got in for a buy, even though you would have went into drawdown right here, still went above your entry. right? And then it just kind of consolidated, broke structure. Now it's looking like it wants to retest this trend line, and it might continue to reverse, right? Continue up, or it could just be a fake out and continue with the trend and continue down. Okay, but we'll know a little bit more once market opens here in about a couple hours. Right, what price is going to do. If it starts to get down here, starts to lose momentum, candlesticks start forming, it's going to bounce off this trend line and continue. If not, right, there's a lot of bearish momentum. It breaks through, it's going to continue down. All right, so we can wait till it gets here, try to catch some buys, set our stop loss, tight stop loss, see if we can ride that reversal. If it breaks, hits our stop loss, right, we can probably get in for some sales around here, set our stop loss tight, and then catch these sales coming back down. Okay, and the next area of support, if we're looking in the past, would be somewhere around here. Okay, if it does continue to come down. All right, well, we had a major reversal over here before. Okay, that's if it does continue to come down. Actually, the first one will probably be more about like right here. Okay, if it does respect, then we can look for it to head around this area, right? This area here. So these are the two moves that we could catch. If it does respect this, turn back around, looking for price to come back to this area here. Okay, 2413.6, right? That'll be our TP. If it does, if this was just a fake out, right, and price continues down, then we're going to see some resistance around this area, the 2409 area. If it breaks through this 2409 area, then the next area that we would be headed to is this 2406, 2407. Okay, which is overall what we think it might do, right? Because this is the daily trend line, right? That I said that price might come back to. So it could continue down. All right, could break both of these areas, continue back down to our trend line. Okay, but yeah, got a couple opportunities this week. I'm ready for this big trading week. We're going to catch some kind of play, right? We're either going to catch it bouncing off this area, catch some buys coming back to this area, or we're going to catch our sales coming back to this trend line. All right, either one, we're going to make some money this week. Okay, so that's gold analysis. That's what we could be looking for this week. Okay, so I'll be dropping our signal once I get in, once I figure out what's going on, once market opens up. I'll drop the signal probably either tonight or tomorrow morning, and yeah, get ready for that. Right, position yourself, get ready. So make sure you fund your account, get your accounts ready, get your funded account, get your regular broker account if you want to get that. Okay, if you're watching this on YouTube, I put my links in the description below. If you're watching on Facebook, go ahead and reach out to me so I can get you the link so you can start your funded account or start a regular account and deposit your own money. Okay. Right. So yeah, that's the gold analysis right there. So now let's just head over to BTC. Okay. See what's going on. Okay. So like I said, you want to back out to the daily. Okay. Back out to the daily, and I actually already have this drawn up, so I'm just gonna walk you guys through it and explain. All right. So if you were watching, first thing we want to identify is the trend, right? We want to identify the trend of the market. And obviously, if you've been watching BTC, you know we've been in lately this little downtrend, right? But overall, we're still in an uptrend, right? We're still in an uptrend until it starts to come below this area here, right? This low 2400 area. If it comes back down below this area, then we're in a downtrend, right? We officially broken structure. But overall, right now, we are in an uptrend. Why? Because, like I said, right, if the price starts in the bottom left, working its way to the top right, that's an uptrend. If it starts in the top left to the bottom right, that's a downtrend. So we can see here, we take our trend line tool, connect the dots, boom. Okay. And I actually had this trend line drawn before. So I've been waiting for it to come back to my trend line, right? Ever since right here, right? Once it hit this all time high around 73,805 back in March, right? Back in mid March. I've been waiting for it to come back down to this trend line so I could get in for a buy, right? A buy opportunity. So right now is perfect time, right? Perfect time for you guys to start trading, for you to start getting into this and looking into Bitcoin. Okay. So yeah, I've just been patiently waiting for it to come back to this support area, right? This trend line to see what it's going to do. If it's going to respect this and continue to come back up to this resistance, or continue to break, right? Break this trend line and continue to come down, which what I thought it was going to do. But we see here, okay, so after you figure out your trend, right? We got the trend of the market. Now we need to figure out what zone we are in. Okay. So the way I came up with these zones, this being my resistance, this being the support, the way I came up with that, right, is you identify your major reversal points. Okay, so you come over here, grab your circle tool. Okay. Actually, I'm looking for my circle tool, but I don't see it. But it's all good. Right. So grab an oval. All right. And what I'm doing now is identifying my major reversal points. Right. So this is how I came up with my zones. All right. All right. So this isn't gonna let me draw my. All right. So I'm just gonna use squares. All right. So boom. All right. So now I got my major reversal points identified. So that's what let me know this was area of resistance, right? So you just grab your rectangle tool, and boom. Okay. So now we have our support identified, our resistance identified. Okay. So now price can only do two things from here, right? It's either going to respect this area, continue up, or it's not going to respect this area and then continue to break this and continue down, right? Now, in the case that that does happen, all right, worst case scenario, it's probably going to come back down to our previous low, all right, this area here where it would bounce off our trend line before. Okay, so if it breaks this area, it's coming back down to this area 38, 400, 468, all right, 38,468. That's if it breaks that area. Now, if it respects this trend line, which is what I really wanted to do because I'm already in a buy, right? And if it comes up to here, it's good, probably about $500,000, right? If it breaks that, yeah, we really in the money, right? We're really in the money, which is what I want to see happen in a perfect world, right? Is it's just going to keep rising from here? It's never going to come below this point, which is what I'm hoping it will do. But you know how Bitcoin is; it can throw you through a loop, right? You could think it's going up, right? Just like it did back here, right? It broke through this area. People thought, oh, we're taking off to 100K from here. It got to 73,805. People were like, yeah, we're going to 100K. Get in for the buy. Get in for a buy. And then it reversed on y'all. Came back to the support. Reversed again, right? People were getting all sad, getting all depressed. They're like, dang, Bitcoin's crashing. Started to come up back to the high. People started talking again. Get in for a buy. People try to get in for a buy again. Boom, took their stop losses out, took all that money, came back to our support again. People were like, dang, Bitcoin's crashing. Then it started to come up, hit the previous high again. People were like, get in for a buy. This is the time. Said, nope, psych. Came back to our trend line, right? People been sad about Bitcoin, saying, oh, it's going to crash. Every time you see people getting quiet about Bitcoin and they say, oh, it's going to crash, it's nothing, that's the time you buy. Every single time. When people start getting hyped about Bitcoin, that's the time you sell. Okay. So just a quick tip for y'all. Anytime people are really excited, right? They're telling you to buy Bitcoin because it's raising. Don't listen to them. They have no idea what they're talking about, right? They're going to have you blow your account, lose money every single time because they don't know how to do this, right? They don't know how to draw up analysis. They're just going off hype. And when they see all the companies buying in, when they see everybody else making money and posting their screenshots, but they're making money from Bitcoin, right? Then that's when they try to get in, when it's at its all-time high. And they try to tell everybody else get in for a buy. And then they blow everybody's accounts because it just reverses on them, right? So from here, we can only do two things, right? We're either going to continue up to our resistance area, right? Like we did before when we got to this area, went to the resistance area, or it's going to break this support area, which this will become the new resistance area, and then head down to previous low. Okay. Now, I would definitely like to see Bitcoin to just keep rising, right? But we know how Bitcoin does. It likes to take everybody's money and fool everybody. And yeah, it's just unpredictable, right? So that's why you got to get in, set your stop loss, right? I got my stop loss set in profit. Okay, if we go down to the 15-minute. Okay, so this is what I'm seeing on the 15-minute. And you don't know all about this yet, right? These alligator traps. Sometimes people call them that. They call them triangle breakouts, right? But you'll learn about that later on, right? When you start getting into trading and everything, you'll start to notice these patterns, right? So this wedge It'll probably stay bouncing in between this wedge until it decides to break out, whether to the bottom or it's gonna break out to the top, right? But right now we're looking good for this buy. We got our stop loss moved up. Probably can move it up a little bit higher, like around this area. But I just want to see if it's just going to keep going, right? If it breaks out towards the top, it's going to retest this trend and continue to go up. If it breaks down to the bottom, it'll retest this trend and continue to come down. In the case that it continues to come down, I'll probably try to close out of this, try to get in for a sell to it coming down. If it breaks out, obviously, I'll wait for the retest, probably get in for another buy around this area, and then continue up. All right. But yeah, what I want to see it do, break out of this and just continue to skyrocket, right? Go to the moon. But like I said, with Bitcoin, you never know. Every time it gets to a high, likes to spike, come all the way back down. Right? So you just got to make sure you have your stop loss in place. Okay. Make sure your stop loss is in place like this here. Okay. And just continue to move it up. As price continues to go up, I'll continue to move my stop loss up. Right. So even if it does come back down, we still made money. Right. That's how you become a smart trader. People that try to tell you don't use a stop loss, right? Don't use a take profit. Those are very risky traders, right? They're crazy because you never know what price could do. Nobody knows. If everybody knew what price was going to do, everybody would be millionaires, right? But you just don't know. So to protect your profit and to limit your loss, right? You want to make sure you're using stop loss. And then once you get in profit, move your stop loss up. Yeah, it may come back and hit your stop loss, but at least you still left with some profit instead of not using one and then it blowing your whole account, right? That's a lesson I had to learn. That was a hard lesson I had to learn, right? Stop with the ego. Stop thinking that I know that price is going to go the way that I think it's going to go, and start putting a stop loss on there, right? Even if it does continue to keep hitting a stop loss, right? Eventually, you get good at moving your stop loss up to the point where it doesn't come back and hit your stop loss, right? But it just takes practice. It takes practice. Once you start practicing more, you start to catch on, and those little things will stop happening. But I'd rather it continue to come back and keep hitting my stop loss while I'm in profit than it blowing my whole account. All right. So yeah, y'all, this is the BTC analysis. Hopefully, you guys got value off of this. Hopefully, you guys can catch a little play. If you were to get into a trade, right, I would wait for this breakout to happen. Right, once it breaks out of this little triangle, if it breaks to the bottom, it's going to retest and then continue down. If it breaks to the top, it'll retest and continue to keep going. Okay, so I would just wait for either one of those moves. If it does break down, wait for that retest to get in for the sell. If it does break out, wait for the retest to get in for a buy. And yeah, let's ride it. Okay. But yeah, make sure you're using your stop loss, so you can control that loss. Even if price doesn't go in the way that you think it's going to go, you only lose a certain amount, right? So you want to make sure you're doing that for all your trades. So you know, all right, even if I lose this trade, I'm only losing a certain amount each trade. Right. So I'm either going to lose the certain amount that I'm always going to lose every time if a trade doesn't go my way, or I'm going to gain a lot of profit and then continue to move my stop loss up. Okay. So y'all, if you wanted to get into my training group and start trading live with me, go ahead and comment the word trade. If you're watching on Facebook, if you're watching on YouTube, the link is in the comments. You can join my live trading class, okay, where I'll take you through step by step. You can trade with me, take the exact same trades that I'm taking, and also get trained by me throughout the week. Okay. So yeah, I think that's about all, right? That's about all for today. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments. Okay, leave them in the comments below. But yeah, hope you guys have value from this. Know what guys are here, Mr. Laptop Lifestyle. If you didn't know, now you know. What I'm trying to do is grow, like I always say. Make the rest of it the best of it. I'll meet you at the top because that bottom is way too crowded. Let's go.